to staying in your child's pose. Thank you for joining us today for your beautiful yoga practice. Today we're going to focus on a little bit of restorative yoga, so we'll take the poses a little slower, hold them a little longer, and really just stretching out our muscles and just relaxing into the practice, helping with any stiffness that you may have. So in child's pose, taking another 6 breaths, your knees nice and wide and your buttocks down at your heels. If you have a bolster, you can lean over that if you wish, and bringing your forehead down towards the mat. On each exhalation, relaxing a little more into the pose, surrendering into the practice. Letting go of the busyness from your morning, connecting with the earth through your hands, your forehead, your shins and the tops of your feet. Just feeling the energy that's coming up through the earth, feeling as it vibrates through your body, coming up through the hands and through all the touch points with the earth. Noticing any stretching through the inner thighs and the lower back and the shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, coming up to cat-cow, to tabletop position, with our knees underneath our hips, the tops of our feet on the ground, and our hands open, fingers spread wide, pushing our palms down to the earth. Inhaling, lifting up through the chest, just softening the eyes, and exhale, lift up your spine towards the ceiling, arching through the back, lengthening out the little spaces between your vertebrae. Just continue on, moving with your breath. As you inhale, lifting up the chest, and as you exhale, lift up the spine towards the ceiling. As you lift up your spine towards the ceiling, taking your gaze through the knees towards the feet, stretching out the back of your neck. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. So breathe in, take a deep breath in, and then breathe out deeply, letting go of all that doesn't serve you. Another deep breath in, and deep breath out. Bringing your buttocks back to your heels, back to child's pose. Take your hands a little bit forward. Take a couple of breaths here. Then on your next inhalation, bringing your chest forward into an upward dog. Feeling that nice stretch through the front of the body. And then exhaling back to child's pose. We're going to move in and out of this pose. Child's pose as you exhale, and upward dog as you inhale. Just getting some nice movement and feeling that nice stretch right through the front of the body and the back of the body. Just going at your own pace, using your breath to initiate the movement. Let's go for a few more rounds. Really deepening the stretch. Notice how your body's starting to ease into the practice, giving you a little bit more movement. And then coming back to tabletop. And we're going to take our right foot forward and place it next to our right hand into lizard pose. And then allow your hips to go a little bit forward so you feel a nice stretch through the left hip flexor. Having your palms placed on the ground and just breathing here. Feeling the deep stretch through the left hip flexor and the right hip opening. You can, if you find that this is a little harsh on your knees, you can also place a blanket underneath your knee. Let's take 4 more breaths here. We're just staying a little longer in each pose, really deeply stretching, restoring our flexibility and our energy today. And 1 more breath. And then slide the right foot back so your knees are next to each other. Then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to lift up the left foot and place it on the outside of the left hand. And then let your hips dip forward so you feel the nice stretch through the right hip flexor and an opening through the left hip. Just taking some deep breaths here. Nice deep stretch, opening through the hips. Two more breaths here. And then slide the left foot back. So you're back to tabletop. And we'll just do a couple of cat-cows, just loosening up the body, just rinsing out after those stretches through the hips. Coming back to child's pose, sliding the hands back slightly and bringing the forehead down to the mat. Just taking a couple of breaths here, just completely surrendering into the pose. And as you inhale, come back up to tabletop and tuck your toes under. And we're going to lift up through the hips to downward dog. And bring our feet about hip width apart and walking our heels down towards the mat. Stretching the back of our legs, our calves and our Achilles and our shoulders. Just connecting in with the practice. Thinking about your intention for today. You're just restoring your body, getting some nice energy flowing in, stretching out any stiffness that you may have. As the weather changes, sometimes our bodies get a little bit more stiffness in them. Just taking some deep breaths. 2 more breaths here. And then coming back down to your knees, hands a little forward. And we're going to move through an upward dog. And then tucking our toes under into a downward dog. A little bit of flowing here. You can bring your knees down to the mat as you come into upward dog, or you can keep your knees off the mat if you want a little bit more challenge. It's up to you. And remembering today, if you need to rest, you can always rest back into child's pose, Or you can lay on your back and hug your knees up to your chest, or lay into Savasana anytime when you feel that you just need a little rest. Listening to your body. Let's have 2 more rounds. And then coming back to downward dog and taking your legs a little wider than the mat, and walk your hands back up towards your feet, coming into a forward bend. And let your palms of your hands come down towards the mat. Feet are nice and wide. Let the crown of your head fall down towards the floor. And let's just take a few deep breaths here in this forward bend pose, in this inversion. Coming back to your breath. Notice how your ribs expand, your lungs expand as you inhale, and as they empty out when you exhale. As you inhale, imagine you're drawing up all the energy from the earth through your hands and your feet, drawing it up through your body, and then breathing it out. Noticing the deep stretch through the back of the legs and the opening through the lower back. And then walking your hands a little bit forward and lifting up your chest and stretching out the spine. Taking a couple of breaths here, just really stretching out the spine, stretching out through the back of the legs. And then bring your hands back to your knees and walk them up your legs to come up to standing. And then let's just give our shoulders a little bit of a roll through. And back the other way. And a little bit of twisting from side to side. Just giving our spine a nice full range of movement. And then coming back to center, inhaling and lifting our arms up. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center, and then exhale to the right. It's going from side to side. Feeling that deep stretch down the side of the body. That's it. Holding your hands together at the top. Nice deep stretch down both sides. That's it. And then bring your hands back to your sides. And we're going to come to the back of the mat and do a warrior sequence. Turning the left foot out slightly and stepping forward with the right foot. As you inhale, lift your arms and bend the right knee. Bring your hands up as though you're holding a beach ball. Looking up towards the ceiling. Feeling that deep stretch through the left hip. Really lifting your arms up, nice and tall. Just taking some deep breaths here. Nice and strong through the right thigh. Tuning back into your breath. Let's take 4 more breaths here, nice and strong. And then lengthening out the right leg and taking your hands forward. Bringing them down towards the mat. If you have a block, you can place your right hand on the block. Lengthen out the right leg. Inhale, lift up the left hand and take your gaze up into triangle pose. Breathing deeply here. Feeling the deep stretch through the back of the right leg. 2 more breaths here. Nice stretch through the front of the chest and a twist through the upper back. And then bring the left hand down. Bring both hands behind your back and clasp them at the back. And as you inhale, lift your hands off your back and raise your chest into humble warrior. Stretching through the back of the right leg and through the shoulders. 2 more breaths here. And then release your hands down to the mat and inhale, lift up and come back to heart center. Bring your feet back together. Give them a little shake. And then we'll go to the other side. So turning the right foot out slightly, stepping forward with the left foot, checking your alignment that your left heel is aligned with your right arch of your foot, hips and shoulders facing forward. We're going to inhale, lift our arms up, bend our left leg and reach up to the ceiling. So we're lifting up that beach ball again, noticing the stretch through the right hip and feeling strong through the left thigh. Coming back to your breathing, really stretching up tall, lifting up through the hands, strong through that left thigh. 2 more breaths. And then lengthening out the left leg and bringing the hands down towards the mat. This time placing the block next to your left foot, hand on the block or on the ground. Inhale, lift up the right hand and gaze to the right hand. So you're opening up through the chest and a nice twist through the upper back and stretching through the back of the left leg. Coming back to the breath. Two more breaths here. Just really lifting that hand a little more, opening out through the chest. And then allow the right hand back down to the mat. And then inhale, lift up, coming back up to standing and bring your hands back to heart center. Give them a little shake. Good. We're going to do a balancing pose next. We'll do tree pose today. We'll start with our right foot. So opening up through the toes on the right foot and moving your hips in a little circle. Feeling a nice deep anchor to the mat. Opening up the right toes and gazing forward and finding yourself a nice gazing point. And we're going to pick up the left foot. The toes are on the mat, and then you're going to lift up the foot either against the calf or a little higher up above the knee, not on the knee. And come into your nice balanced pose. Bring your hands up to heart center, focusing on your gazing point. Coming back to the breath. Two more breaths here. And then release your left leg down to the mat. Give it a little shake on the right side. And then we'll go to the other side. So this time opening up the left toes, moving in a little circle, noticing the anchor points behind your big toe and your little toe in the heel. Come back to the gazing point. Bring your right foot next to your left leg, toes on the ground. And when you're ready, lift up that foot, either next to the calf or above the knee, and bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Taking some nice deep breaths. The stillness in the body and the mind. Two more breaths here. releasing the right foot back down to the ground. Give both legs a shake. We might do one more balancing pose. We might do dancer pose as well. So coming lengthways on the mat, you might have something in front of you that you can reach out to for balance. We're going to open up the right toes, bending the left knee and bringing the left foot into your left hand, getting yourself nice and steady, finding your gaze point. And when you're ready, inhale, kick back the left leg and lift up through the chest and take your right hand forward. Just keeping your eye on your gazing point. Really kicking back with that left leg, reaching forward with the right hand. 2 more breaths here. And then release. Good work. And then let's go to the other side. Opening up the left toes, coming back to your anchor point and find your gaze point. Bending the right knee and holding the right foot with the right hand. Find your gaze point, and then as you inhale, take your chest forward, kick back the right foot and bring the left arm forward. Really kick back that right foot. Just take some deep breaths here. 2 more breaths. And then release. Nice work, ladies. Give that a little shake. And then coming down to the mat. Let's take our knees wide and come back down to our heels with our buttocks. Walk our hands forward into child's pose. Just give our body a nice stretch. Coming back to our breath and coming back to our objective for our yoga practice today. Coming back to our focus. Just balancing our energy, restoring our body. Two more breaths here. And then coming up to tabletop. We're going to lift up alternate leg and arm. So we're going to start with our right hand and our left leg. So we're going to inhale, lift up the leg and point the toes towards the ground, and then lift up the right hand. Just taking some deep breaths here, really steadying the body. Holding it nice and still. Notice the strength required through the abdominal area and stretching out through the back and the leg and the arm. And then exhale, bring it back down to the ground. And then take it up to the other side. So inhale, lift left hand and right leg, pointing the right toes to the mat, stretching the left hand forward, taking your gaze forward, nice and steady through the back, squeezing the buttock, really stretching out through the hand and foot. Take a couple more breaths here and then release it onto the mat. And then from here, we're going to lay down, place our body down onto the mat. Make sure you've got enough room through the hands and the feet. And we're going to do a half boat pose. So we're going to bend our left knee and reach back with our left hand. And inhale, lift up through the chest and kick back the left foot. Stretching through the left thigh and through the chest on the left side. Pushing down through the right hand and the right foot. And then release. And take it to the other side. So bending the right knee, reach back with the right hand onto the right foot. And then kick back as you inhale and lift up through the chest. Just take some deep breaths here. Feeling that stretch through the chest and the arm and the thigh on the right side. And then release. Keeping hold of the right hand, reach back to the left foot with your left hand. Let's take a couple of breaths here, and then when you're ready, inhale, kick back both feet, lift up through the chest, really squeezing the buttocks, kicking back both feet, noticing the stretch through the arms and the chest and the thighs into full boat pose. Well done. And then release. Coming into a seated position with your legs out in front of you. Coming up high onto your sit bones and flexing your feet, nice tall spine. We're going to inhale, lift up our arms, and exhale, bring the arms forward and fold forward. You might be able to bring your hands down to your toes or your ankles or your shins, wherever's comfortable for you. Keeping your gaze towards your toes. And just taking some nice deep breaths here. And connecting in with a stretch through the back of your legs, your lower back and your upper back. Just taking a couple more breaths. And then releasing your hands from your feet, coming back up to nice tall spine. And we're going to bring our left foot in, bending our left knee, bring the left foot in against the right thigh, and then come up tall on your sit bones again. And we're going to inhale, lift our arms up, and exhale, fold our body forward. And we're going to hold on to the toes or the ankle or the shins on the right side and have your gaze towards the right toe. Taking some deep breaths here. Good. So stretching through the back of the right leg and also stretching through the ITB on the left side. If you find that your knee is high up, you can actually move the foot further down the leg, or you can put something underneath it, but it looks like everyone's pretty good. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then release, coming back up to sitting, and swap your legs over. Coming up onto your sit bones, a nice tall spine. Inhale, lift up your arms, and exhale, flexing your left foot and taking your arms forward. You might find that this side is a little different. You might be a little bit more flexible on the left or the right. Just depends on how your body is today. Gazing towards the left toes. If you feel that your knees are up high, you can always put a block under it to support it. You might need that, Deb, for you. That's it, yeah, good. That's it, and just looking forward towards the left toes, stretching down the back of the left leg and feeling the stretch around the right, between the knee and the hip. And then release. Bring both feet out the front again, give them a little shake. And then come up onto your sit bones, nice tall spine again. And we're going to go forward one more time. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold forward. And just notice how your body feels. You might find that you've got a little bit more flexibility this time. So gazing down towards your big toes and just relaxing your eyes and taking some deep breaths. Two more breaths here. Coming back to your breath. And then releasing your hands. And we're going to lay down onto our back and hug our knees up into our chest. Just flushing out our spine after all those forward bends. And moving our knees in a little circle, massaging our lumbar spine, going in one direction and then the other. And then placing our feet onto the ground. Lift up the left foot and bring it across the front of the right thigh. And then reach forward, lifting the right foot off the mat and reach forward and hug that left leg towards the chest, and then relax your head back down to the mat into reverse pigeon. Just taking some deep breaths here. Notice that deep stretch through the back of the leg on the left side, through that ITB area. This is a great one to help release any tension we may have in our lower back. Just breathing into the stretch. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing your hands, allow your right foot to come down to the mat. And keep the legs crossed, arms out to the sides, straight out from your shoulders, and drop both knees towards the right side. And try not to let them collapse, just control it down and looking to the left. And just breathing into this nice deep stretch on the left side of the body. You might like to take your right hand and place it on the left knee, just to go into the stretch a little more. Just take a few breaths here, just relaxing into it. Each time you exhale, allow your body to twist a little more. And then inhale and bring both knees back to center, uncross your legs, and then cross the right leg over the left. And then lifting the left foot off the ground, reaching forward, either to the right shin or the left thigh or the left shin, and coming into that reverse pigeon. And then allow your upper back and head to relax back onto the mat. And just taking some deep breaths here. And again, noticing any differences on this side. You might find this is a little tighter than the left side or vice versa. It is what it is. Just taking some deep breaths. Really releasing that glute and ITB on the right side. Hopefully opening up and giving you a little bit more movement in the lower back area. 2 more breaths here. And then release your hands, let the left foot come down to the mat, and then draw the right knee towards the left side. Look to the right side. Coming into that deep stretch through the right side of the body. You might like to place your left hand on the right knee and draw the knee across. Try to keep your back onto the mat so you feel a stretch through the front of the chest. You might hear a couple of little clicks as the nitrogen releases from your vertebrae. Just deep breathing here, coming back to the breath, coming back to the intention of your practice, the deep restorative practice. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, bring your knees back to center. Uncross your legs and then hug both knees back to your chest. From here, we're going to reach through the inside of our knees towards our feet into happy baby, holding on to the outside edges of your feet, and move your feet so that they are facing up towards the ceiling with your knees out to the side. So you've got bent knees and your feet are facing up. Nice flat back. So here you can rock around in a circle or just keep it still, or rock backwards and forwards, whatever feels right for your spine. Just really flattening out your back, that lower back area, nice stretch through there and through the hips. Just take a few more breaths here. And then releasing your feet and lifting your legs up towards the sky. From here, you might like to go into legs up the wall, or you might like to just lift up your hips and place your hands under it. So you've got a supported legs up position. Sit, flexing your feet. So you're pushing your heels up towards the ceiling. And just taking some nice deep breaths here. Giving your ankles a little circle in one direction and then the other. Just lightening the legs. You might like to take your feet out wide. And then bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. And then legs all the way up in the air. If you're in a shoulder stand, you might like to take your feet over the top of your head towards the ground behind your head into plow pose, stretching out your upper back and your neck. And then when you're ready on your next inhalation, lower your legs back down to the mat. And we're going to come into Savasana for our Yoga Nidra today. Getting yourself really nice and comfortable. If you want to use a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back, you can. You might like to have a blanket under your head or over your body, or a nice pillow over your eyes. Just getting yourself nice and comfortable. Taking 3 deep relaxing breaths, relaxing your body. Be aware of the sounds in the distance, moving your awareness from sound to sound without attempting to identify the sound. Be aware of your physical body lying in Savasana. Be aware of your alignment, your chin lower than your forehead, your spine aligned, your arms close to the body, fingers away from the floor, as comfortable as possible. Become aware of your natural breath, keeping it completely spontaneous. Repeat your intention for your practice mentally 3 times with feeling. Rotating your consciousness around your body, starting with the right hand thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check your awareness that you're still awake and move your attention to the left side.
left hand thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check your awareness that you're still awake and move your attention to the back of your body. Heels, back of your legs, buttocks, back, shoulder, arms, hands, whole of your spine, neck, back of your head, crown of your head, forehead, right side temple, left side temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow center, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, lips, chin, throat, chest, 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 abdomen, 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 pelvis, pelvis, pelvis. Become aware of your breath, counting back from 17 to 0. Check your awareness that you're still awake. Awaken the feeling of warmth within the body. The whole body is warm. The head is warm. Your torso is warm. Your arms are warm. Your feet are warm. Now awaken the feeling of coolness within your body. Your feet are cool. Your legs are cool. Your torso is cool. Your arms are cool. Your head is cool. Your whole body is cool. Bring your awareness to the front of your closed eyes and imagine the following objects as they are named. An eagle, an elephant, the sound of the ocean, a rainbow, clear blue sky, a beautiful garden, a red rose, a golden sunrise, a waterfall. Now is the time to, in your practice, to repeat your intention 3 times. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel your body resting in Savasana, aware of the room that you're in and the surrounds, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, the window. Recall the time of day and know that the practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to an end. I will chime the singing bowl once. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Wiggling your fingers and toes, stretching out through the hands and the feet. Slowly rolling to one side, taking a few breaths. When you're ready, coming up to a seated position. I've got a little yoga quote for today. If you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. Thank you for your beautiful practice today. Let's bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Well done, ladies.
Thank you.